As a boy, I remember reading one of those books. I'm not even really sure if they make them anymore. But they had these alternate endings that allowed you to choose the way that the story would conclude. I loved it because you'd become so enthralled with the characters and engrossed with the plot, excited throughout the story, that if you got to the end and you didn't like the way that it turned out, you could just choose another one.
In 1952, a great story began. A story so great that not just one author could pen the entire tale. It would take hundreds and thousands of men and women to come together to create each chapter. And that story is Sheaves for Christ. And now, 50 years later, it continues.
I think the one thing that my years at the youth division taught me more than anything else about Sheaves for Christ is just how many people it takes to tell the story.
Sheaves for Christ not only moves the gospel, it gives foundation to the gospel.
This year, we'll go back to the roots of our story that's grounded in the agricultural concept of bringing in the sheaves, bundles of harvested wheat, into the storehouse. But we'd like to remind you this year of some of the times of yesteryear when many churches got involved in Sheaves for Christ. Entire churches got involved in Sheaves for Christ fundraising by hosting car washes, bake sales, and missions mega marches.
From the first March for Missions until now, thousands of young people have raised money to write a new chapter in the Sheaves for Christ story, all for the glory of God.
It's been said that the greatest natural resource of the church is its youth, and of course the greatest spiritual resource is the Bible. When you bring those two elements together, the youth on the one hand and the Word of God on the other, then you've got the potential to write a powerful story that will impact future generations.
As a minister and a father, I would like to say how much I deeply appreciate the Sheaves for Christ scholarship, giving young men like my son the opportunity to fulfill God's call in their lives.
And this is not the United Way or the March of Dimes that we're talking about. And those are both very good causes. But this is different because this is our story. And unlike those old books that I spoke of a moment ago, we cannot just arbitrarily choose an ending at the conclusion of this campaign. We must write the story now.
For me, running is optional, but the race is not. The amount of money that you raise for SFC and however you go about doing that, that's optional. But personal sacrifice, that's not.
We have before us an opportunity to write a chapter in which the conclusion provides foreign missionaries with the vehicles that they need to be able to minister via the highways and the byways, which allows us to provide more grants for buildings for our home missionaries and scholarships for our Bible college students.
When you give to Sheaves for Christ, you are literally participating in apostolic ministries around the globe.
Sheaves for Christ pushes the gospel around the world.
Boys from broken homes are depending on you to join the story. Men and women who are addicted to drugs, children in Tupelo Children's Mansion, are dependent on you to join the story.
My life has changed because of Tupelo Children's Mansion and Sheaves for Christ. So this year, I'm inviting you to join the story.
You know, at the end of the day, it's not our promotion materials that are going to change the world or establish a new church in a city. Truthfully speaking, not even this video presentation can do that. Only you and I can do that. And that's why this year we invite you to join the story.
You don't have to wait on your pastor, student leader, or parents to get involved. It's time for our generation to join the story.
Join the story.